Hey everybody, back here with the GL. So just troubleshooting a problem that this car has got. And so when you turn it on, it's just kind of got a buzz noise for a while. I noticed this coming from the front and I plugged my scanner in, went through all the different diagnostics.
So let's see if I hit the button to automatically go. This will make the compressor come on. That's the noise, right?
Mm-hmm.
I went in there and just tried to move the car up and down, realized that the compressor started overheating and it catches it and will stop the compressor. And basically I narrowed down to, there's a little valve block right behind here, and that's where all the lines run to. And I think that that's either damaged or blown out, or there's some problem with it. So I'm gonna check it out. So gotta get the front end up in the air so I can get the wheel off. And just looking under the car, it's a little tricky because everything's got a plastic veneer on it, but they do expose this little metal for you. So I'm gonna put a piece of wood on the jack and go ahead and lift it up from here. Got it up in the air. It's not way too high, but it's enough to get the wheel off. This is the shop procedure here. So it's in 32, which is suspension, and we take the fender liner off. That's what it looks like. Just for fun, I kind of just pointed it, got this printed out for the fender liner. It's pretty easy though. It's basically just a couple rivets. Yeah, here's the part number for the assembly. I didn't verify it was bad, so I am rolling the dice a bit on this. So there's kind of a connector for each strut. So yeah, these little plugs come out, so you can take them out. So the first thing I'll do is get the wheel off, get that fender liner out, and then we'll try to locate this assembly, see if there's any physical damage to it. Great, with the wheel off, yeah, you can get in here, no problem. Basically, we got some 10 millimeters on these plastic nuts right here, and then there's a couple of these rivets. So that's one of those ones where you just use these tools to get it loose and pop it out. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead, get started taking these off. Looks like we got some rivets holding it on right here. So I'll just check those out. I'll also check under here real quick, but yeah, pretty basic stuff here. With these, you just kind of get the screwdriver under the head, and then once that starts to pull out, then you're pretty good. You can just use your tool to pull the rest of that out. And as you pull it out, the middle could come out, that's okay. But basically the underlying rivet itself should come out too. There we go. Let's see if we got a better situation now. Okay. All right, I think I just got one or two more nuts here. Yeah, this is kind of a pain in the ass. So to get this thing off, you have to take off these two 8 millimeter bolts. Get this off here, and then there's a secret rivet hiding under there that you just need to get off. I just took off the whole fender liner. You don't have to do that. You only have to take the front off, but I'll show this anyways. When you take the front part off, there's going to be some 8mm, one here, and then here, this is just the corner of the bumper. There's going to be one right here, and then one right here. At that point, you just have those rivets, and the rest of it comes off. And then here you go. You can see the block, and it's basically, you know, here's the headlamps. So it's just right under the headlamps. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and crack this open to let the air bleed out of there. And yeah, just inspect this in general. Just letting that out. All right, while that air is kind of going out, this plug here for the electrical, you can just kind of have it, pull it back a little bit, and that's going to pull the tab. You can actually just probably use your finger. Pull that tab back a little bit. There you go. Pulling that tab will move that little piece down. You can probably see it down, and then it gets it off of there. So there's the electrical connection. This should just be on with a screw, so I'll find that, and once this is all aired out, I'll be able to swap it. I can check this one for damage. You know, there could be damage around the ball bearings. I've seen some that just have a hole straight up on the back, so we'll see how bad this one is. So I've taken these out one by one. I've just kind of labeled them so I know which one. And if you look at the end, you know, from the factory, it's got the coloring on it, but I just did it just to know for sure. The last one goes to the pump. So yeah, these are all 10mm, and then the last one is a 12mm. So just gonna crack this one and pull it off of here, and then we'll look how to get the valve block off here. Okay, just looking at the part, if I look at mine, flip it around, you can see there's going to be a bolt here and a bolt here. So on the actual unit, that's going to be here and then towards the bottom down here. So to get these off with it's a T25, and I'm using a ratchet just because you could use a hex key, but it's not a lot of room back here, and yeah, you'll need to ratchet this off. It takes a little while to get it off of there, so I got one of them off already. All right, so I got it out there. You can see in the bracket, there's one on the top right and one on the top, bottom left. So here it is out, and I don't see anything crazy. You know, right here, looks like there's a little crack, a little hole there, versus when you look at the new one, that's kind of sealed up there. I'm a little skeptical about that. This could be a parts cannon thing where this might not do anything at all, and it could be the compressor. Super high pitched rattling noises, vibrations coming from the front, and it doesn't seem like it seems like this compressor has to work really hard. So I don't know if the compressor's bad or if it was a crack in here. So I guess we'll find out. Okay, got that swapped out. And then the last piece here is, you can do it two different ways. By the book, you know, you cut this line right here behind the brass fitting, and then you put the new brass fitting in and push it until it holds in place. Or I'm just gonna leave mine as is, but I'm going to swap the O-rings. So on the new ones, I'll just get that off very carefully and go ahead and put that on. And so yeah, if you did just push it through there, it would hold too. And that's a good way to do it, but I did that for the rear springs. When you're putting these on, just make sure that you do get them snug, but don't over tighten this. So yeah, here I'm gonna just kind of go until, yeah, I get a little bit of resistance there, That's pretty good. I'm not going to push it anymore. So just got a couple more left to go. As I'm going, I'm just putting the O-ring on there, putting it on over there. And yeah, after this is there, we'll be able to get the car on jack stand so I can turn the car on and see if the AIRMATIC compressor comes on. If the noise happens again, then I'll be able to have a better view of what's happening. But yeah, we'll see if this actually does fix it. So should be interesting. Okay, so I got everything plugged in. You can see the, since I let all the air out, all the struts are pretty low. The only reason the ones in the front are up is because the top's in the air. Okay, I pulled the fuse. I'm gonna see if that helps. So it's been out for about a minute. Go ahead and put this in here. Okay, yep, so it's the compressor. So that valve block might have helped, but it's not the actual problem. So it was about $300 for me to get that part. And I ordered it during the week because I wasn't sure which part it would be, and parts take a while to get here. So I think I should be able to get an Arnott compressor. I'll check Mercedes at Chandler too. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I did find that AutoZone has the Arnott part in stock. And so basically, there's just a little power connector that goes right here. You just use your screwdriver, push that out, then you can pull this right off. And then there's 3 of these kind of assemblies that have like a spring, and they're each going to those studs, and there's a 10mm nut on the end of each one of them. So there's 1, 2, and then there's one on the third side back here. And then this should drop right out. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this out. I'm gonna go to the store, pick it up, and put the new one in. This should be a piece of cake. I've already almost got it out. Oh yeah, there is this line here, so that's 12mm. You just undo this. That's the one that goes to the valve block that was just replaced. So just gonna take this out just in case they ask for a core. Okay, I messed up. There's 2 that I forgot about. So there's this guy right here, this electrical. Then on the back, there's actually a hose clamp. And so I'll just get those off of here. And yeah, this should be a pretty similar one to get off of here, where you push the tab in and then pull it out. So I'll just go ahead and get that done. Just got back from AutoZone, and so here's the Mercedes one. This is my old part, and here's the new one. There's the Arnott part number, the P-3258. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take these rubber pieces out and clean them, swap those over. They go to the bracket, and yeah, then it's ready to just put back together. It's pretty straightforward. So I was having a little bit of a hard time finding the exact part number, but I think this will do the trick, and it looks to be exactly the same. Got those switched over. That was easy. And so now basically everything is the reverse of the removal. So I'm pretty much going to put that hose on here. At that point, I can get these things pushed up. Here's the piece that goes to them. So this goes under here like that. There's a washer that goes on top for the other side of the rubber. Yeah, and there's those 3 that do that. So I'm going to get that in place after I connect this first. I basically just got that hanging off of here with those hose clamp pliers. So I'll just sneak it on there, release the clamp, and yeah, you can see the studs hanging. That's where they're gonna go. So I'll get that compressor just mounted, and actually maybe I'll clean up some of this stuff first. It's pretty dirty. But after it's mounted, pretty much you just have these two connectors. So you do have to do this one, and I'll swap the O-ring that came with the one in the kit. All right, there's the new unit all plugged in. New distribution block, new unit for the compressor. And up here, basically they include a relay with it. So I'll go ahead and use the one that they provide and put that in here first. And then we'll go ahead and put the 40 amp fuse in and give it a shot, and we'll see what happens, see if it's noisy. Okay, it's definitely operating, and it's absolutely not noisy. You might be able to hear that air compressor noise. So that was it. It was the air compressor. Probably should have done some more diagnosis before I did this, but some of the parts you can't get them in the store. So that one that I found, the distribution block, that was one, you know, it's really hard to get that part, so you have to, it takes a couple days to get in. So I got it on eBay. It was new in the box, unopened and everything like that, for 300 bucks. The stock price is 450, I think, so saved a little bit of money, and it would eventually go bad, and now I got new O-rings on all of those plugs too. So yeah, and then the compressor, so that's all new too. The actual new compressor itself was $740 after tax and everything. So looks like we're pretty good. So no noise. No lights. And this will be back down when I drop the car. Okay. Great, it's airing up. There's definitely some noise, but it's not bad. So after I dropped the car to the ground, put the wheel back on, torqued it to 80 foot-pounds, that's when I definitely saw it was slammed. So turning the car on, put the pump on. Yeah, it's not overheating or having malfunction on there. And then I think since I did push the button here for this ride height, it's actually making it go up even more. So I'll go ahead and turn that off. And it's gonna drop itself down a little bit. Lowering. So yeah, we're good to go. So a little bit of a crazy video for me, at least. I was thinking I'll go in and only do one part, but ended up doing the compressor too. And so that's probably a pretty common problem for people. Yeah. Well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.